Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unbothered by Ty Rivera. As always, we come to you from high atop Ty Rivera Studios, a.k.a. Casa de Bijou. Our guest today is the one and only Mr. Eric Abbenante.
Hello, I'm impressed you actually nailed the name. That's a rarity.
I made sure that I was gonna get it.
Well, you didn't ask me before, so I was actually I was expecting the usual fuck ups with my name, and I was like, oh, I was impressed.
Yeah, I almost went for Eric Schmabonante.
What Victor calls me, yeah.
Yeah,
But I always get fuck ups with my name at every open mic. It's almost like I almost kind of enjoy it 'cause it's like gives me something off the top to just bullshit on, just rip the host for fucking up my name,
Yeah, that one, I asked you what it was when we were at, because just for anybody that's listening, I met Eric at the Garage open mic. That's where we actually met. It's a great open mic that's run by Victor Martinez Jr., and I like to call that open mic truth serum. Something about it just makes you say more than you wanted to say.
Oh my god, yeah, it is one of the most open mics. I've heard some shit from people who always go to like a 10 and they go to a 12 there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you hear stories of molestation, you hear stories of incest. I mean, I've heard everything you can imagine at that open mic, and I really like it, but it's I feel like if you're not really serious about comedy, you're not going to like that open mic.
Yeah, well, it's really hardcore. Everyone's smoking and drinking, and honestly, people don't give a fuck. They'll have a smoke circle in the back, and if you're not going to pull the attention, sometimes they won't even pay attention to you. And so it's a hardcore mic, but I love it. I think I just think it's the grungy, raw attitude is just what... It's so opposite of everything I've ever been to.
Yeah, there's hot dogs being made.
We call them cancer dogs because they're never properly cooked. They're always cooked on some hobo wood that we find on the side.
Yeah, there was particle board. One of the last times we were there, it was particle board.
And it always smells like urine and stuff like that. And and one time Jesus Era, who always Jesus is our magic guy. He always turns his money into beer, so it's a miracle worker, our Jesus. And he usually takes up the cooking and always fucks it up. And one time he spilled the gas really bad.
Yeah, no, I remember that. And the burrito lady thought that somebody had put gas on one of the joints, and she was like, oh my god, they put gas on the joint. And I was like, no, they didn't. Stop saying that. Nobody put gas on a joint. Nobody would want to do that.
Yo, this weed is gas. It's fire. No, that doesn't work.
She was swearing that we had put gas on one of the joints, and it was just that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and my girlfriend who's here, Kayla Bernadette, it happened right before she went on. And she was so pissed. And she was looked like she was gonna pass out, like she'd just been at Bill Cosby's house or something. She was so dizzy up there, and it's I was sitting because I'm always supportive, and I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I want to chill in the back right now. This is intense.
Kayla had one of the best moments at the Garage open mic. These cops were slowly rolling by, and
as they do.
Yeah, they're slowly rolling by. And as they drive by, and you were on stage, Kayla was on stage, and so when Kayla sees them, she just starts going, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And I just saw one of the cops roll his eyes we don't want to deal with this right now. We're not going to break up a Black Lives Matter rally and bring on that kind of heat. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things the cops just look at it and they're like, yeah, we don't want to deal with all this shit. How many people do we have to arrest here?
Yeah, and nobody, we're such a group of nobody's going to do anything. It's there's not going to be a fight. And I think they could tell that by looking at the crowd. It's just this
and
harmless crowd of
except for Brandon Bricks, who looks like Rodney King. You know?
Oh yeah, well Brandon could definitely get shot if he wanted to.
Every time the cops go by, we always hide Brandon Anne Frank in the garage and just stay in there, buddy. We don't want you to go down.
Poor Brandon. It's true though. He does have that look.
He's got a neck tattoo, for God's sake. He's the size of Shaq, you know.
Yeah, and is not allowed in Yogurt Land.
Yeah, for getting refills.
Yeah, he's not allowed in Yogurt Land. Kenny Lyon, who goes there all the time, is not allowed in the subway on Gower.
Yeah, and Kenny Lyon. Speaking of Kenny Lyon, when we're talking this. Mike is a truth serum. Kenny Lyon, who always talks about molestation, I've heard of shit I have never heard him say at this mic. He went like I thought Kenny was always being truthful. At Garage Mike, he was truthful, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, Kenny. Yeah, I thought that like 2 weeks ago when I was there and I was watching Kenny during his set, and I was just like, he's really going for it tonight.
Yeah.
And then in my head, because I'm close with Kenny, so in my head I was just like thinking punchline Kenny, punchline. I don't mind what kind of truth you tell, just find a punchline somewhere. He found one though.
Yeah, he's a great explorer. He's always looking. And I love that because he's got so much to look through. I couldn't even imagine having that much, gold to sift through. It's just and he has a lot of pain to filter out through searching for that gold. It's like he's got a lot. I really respect him. He's one of the nicest guys too. He always anytime you hang out with Kenny Lyon, he's always very welcoming.
Yeah, well, he'll give you anything. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He really is that kind of person, and it's. I think sometimes people get a little confused because he gets angry, and then they think he's this menacing type person, and it's just like. That's just Kenny. Every once in a while, he gets a little too emotional, and it comes off as aggressive. But it's easy to calm him down or just talk him out of it and be like, Kenny, just chill out.
Yeah. He does hold grudges. That's what I always think. I always tell Kenny you gotta just chill, and I always me and Jared Levin are really good friends, and we always laugh about this. Kenny needs a no man in his posse at all times. There just needs some a angel on his shoulder, just no, Kenny, don't. Should I get naked on stage? No, not this time. Don't.
Oh yeah, well that's one thing I've told Kenny, and Kenny, I know you listen, but you better listen right now. I've told Kenny several times now. And he said he will do it to stop getting naked. I was like, you've already explored that part of yourself. You've been naked everywhere. Just stop getting naked now. Under no circumstances, unless you're taking a shower, do you need to be naked, Kenny.
Yeah, it's like him and Bobby Lee. I barely knew them, and I've seen both of their penises. This shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, luckily I've seen pictures of Kenny naked on stage, but they're always cropped in the right way.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen Kenny's penis. I have no interest. I don't want to see.
Yeah, I wasn't seeking it out. I wasn't Googling it. And,
I didn't figure. Yeah, I figured you saw it
Did you
live
hear
in
the Kenny
person.
Lyon leaks came out? It wasn't
Could you imagine the Kenny Lyon leaks? There's nothing to leak, and everybody would just be like, yeah we know that, or we've seen it.
The only Kenny Lyon leaks are when he pisses in the alley of the garage mic,
Oh, even that. He was getting tickets for pissing in public for a minute there, and I was like, Kenny, stop doing that. You don't.
He always gets into trouble somehow. It's just a shame, but.
Yeah, so besides Kenny Lyon pissing and the Kenny leaks, I know that you have an interest in politics.
Yeah, I've always been into it. My grandma really got me into it. She hated on George Bush before anyone did. The day before he got elected, she was so just violently hated him, and so I learned a lot from her. And yeah, I've always been into it. We're Jews. We have to kind of be into it. I have this joke where it's Jews and black people are kind of like the canaries in the coal mine of oppression. As soon as one of us gets fucked over, the rest of us are about to get fucked over. So we always got to be on the lookout.
Okay, then that makes sense because I noticed, Jewish people are always on the threads like crazy and very active.
And we just bitch. That's just what we do. And it's just the whole religion is set up on you could argue. Even rabbis, there's one book. And we have 63 books analyzing that one book called the Talmud. And it's just rabbis arguing with each other the whole time about what they think it meant. And that's what Jews do. We argue the shit out of everything.
It makes it good, though. It makes it because, growing up, I grew up in Casa Grande, Arizona, and we did not have a lot of Jewish people there at all.
Yeah, I bet.
Casa Grande, Scottsdale, Arizona, which is close to Phoenix. plenty of Jews there.
Yeah, they're
But-
starting to move there now.
Yeah, but in Casa Grande, not so much. And so, but since moving to L.A., I've somehow got a lot of Jews. Maybe because I like to argue and they like to argue.
Yeah.
So it makes for, and nobody gets mad. It's just kind of like, all right, well, that was, you know.
And we're all over here. Like you can't swing a cat without hitting a Jew in LA. It's like we're everywhere on Ventura Boulevard, Wilshire, Santa Monica. You know, all the nice areas.
Yeah, Robertson.
Yeah.
Robertson is really taken over.
yeah, Fairfax.
Yeah, there's that one slot of Robertson that the fags have, and then from there on out, it's just nothing but Jews.
the Jews and the gays just met together, and they were like, you know, we'll have a deal. You can have this side, and we can have this side.
Yeah. The gays. Once you hit Melrose, then that's where the Jews start again. But depending on which way you're going, if you're headed back towards the Comedy Store.
Either way, though, that's like great for real estate. Like Jews and gays, you know, your real estate values are just skyrocketing.
Oh yeah.
You know, your area is gonna be tidy.
Yeah, it's gonna look
you're
good.
just like this is gonna be nice. You know, no one's ever been like, "Fuck, I have another gay Jew or Jew neighbor." You're just like,
yeah, gay Jew is the epitome.
The gay Jews run Hollywood.
Yeah, the gay Jews. They make sure everything stays on the up and up. So, who are you going for?
I've always been a Bernie guy. Like, I actually liked Bernie back in high school before anyone knew about this fucker. Like, he was my dude for so long, and I was shocked that he had the rise that he did. And it kind of became like when you like Radiohead before everyone likes Radiohead, then you're like, fucking, why does everyone like this guy? But I was still for him, but it did kind of annoy me to see this rise. And it's like, you guys just know about Bernie?
Yeah, everybody finally jumps on board.
Well, he's kind of like that rapper who's been like, you know, handing out his mixtape for 30 years, saying the same bullshit over and over.
I don't think anybody has ever compared Bernie to a rapper.
Until just now. Yeah, I was just like, you know, he's been saying the same shit for 30 years, and it's like no one's been paying attention to him. Though, to be fair, Donald Trump's like the same way. You know, he's been talking the same shit for like 30 years, and no one's paying attention to his ass either.
Yeah, but you know, Bernie's always been in politics. Donald Trump has not. So that's kind of the difference. You know,
The
Donald
great thing
Trump,
is Donald Trump's just always been around, though, kind of like Coke and Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, he's just ubiquitous. Like, you turn on like these movies or shows, and like I'm watching the Larry Sanders Show, and there's like multiple references to him, and Marla Maples, and he's ubiquitous.
Home Alone.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he was everywhere. The Pizza Hut commercials with his ex-wife.
The guy can brand. The guy can just brand, and that's the opposite of Bernie Sanders. Like Bernie Sanders, I love the guy, but he didn't even know to comb his hair.
Well, Bernie, was a mess. A friend of mine, who was it that had that joke about Bernie? It was so hilarious. It was Keith. What's Keith Moon? Keith
Soul.
Keith Soul.
Yeah.
Who's Keith Moon?
Keith Moon's the drummer for The Who, my favorite band, actually.
Okay.
Died
All right.
in 1979. Rest in peace.
Oh, well, he's been dead for a long time, so he clearly didn't have the joke.
Fuck him.
He clearly didn't have the joke. Anyway, Keith Soul. Yeah, sorry, Keith. I actually know Keith Soul. He's gonna talk shit to me when he sees me. But yeah, he had that joke about how Bernie looks like he's probably always got something on his shirt in the cafeteria. Bernie, can you clean it up? Can you please?
Look, I had a pastrami sandwich, and it was great. You know, it's like, yeah, he's got that. Yeah, my favorite joke was I think it was Neil Brennan. And he was like, you know, black people can't vote for Bernie because he's just got that hairline. It's a tough hairline. You know, that's so true. He just got killed by black people for Hillary. That always shocked me. That always bummed me out as a Jew that black people did not vote for him.
Yeah, well, when those Black Lives Matter girls jumped on stage, that's kind of what ended him for me. I mean, I know some people don't agree with me for that.
Oh,
but
I totally agree. As soon as that happened, I was devastated. And as someone who's, I totally sympathize and get Black Lives Matter, but I was like, what are you guys doing? It doesn't even make any sense. And it was very cowardice. Like, After all the candidates you could go for, you start with Bernie. Like, that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a guy on Facebook yesterday. I was trying to engage him because I thought he was an idiot, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to like take him
Story
apart.
of Ty's life. Tearing down people
Yeah, I
that
just
deserve
wanted
it. That honestly deserve it.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to tear him apart because it was like, and I talked to Long Yu about this too. Like, just you gotta, if you're gonna be a movement, you've got to have some direction. So, like, going after both Bernie and Hillary when supposedly a Democrat is in your best interest makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And the way that they went after Bernie and even the fact that they went after Bernie to me was just, it was like, why would you do that? Like, he's probably the one that was listening the most when it came down to it.
Exactly.
And once, as a performer, once they took the mic from him, I was like, I can't support this guy.
Yeah, that's so annoying when you take away someone's right to speak and respond. And I know I get what they're saying, but and also I feel like, didn't you talk about this with the Matthew episode, or I might getting his name wrong? The guy who wrote for like the BET.
Yeah, me and Matt Claybrook.
Yeah, see, that was a great episode.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, so that was it did, so mirrors that episode too. But yeah,
That's the episode that made me hate Zach Elk. We'll get into that later.
Former sidekick Zach L.
Former sidekick, no longer.
Rest in peace. Died in 2016.
No, I love Zach Elk, but I mean, like, I was truly bummed at the end of that. At the end of that episode, we had to cut it off because, like,
it didn't record, right?
Yeah, well, it recorded, but it was really like broken up. Like, nobody would be able to hear. Like, make sense of it. But yeah, that went on for actually quite a while, and Matt Claybrooks was great. I'm gonna have him on
he was
again.
fascinating. I loved hearing him, and he was just so like common sense and real about everything. And I just, I could hear him talk for a while. He was great.
Yeah, it's nice. He also doesn't care. Like, he'll just say what he actually thinks. He doesn't try to clean it up first, or
no bias or like like outside perspective. It's just like truly real.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're great too. I had my roommate listen to you, and he's like, I could fall asleep to this guy. Ty's dulcet tones.
Thank you. Yeah, I got hit up by these guys that wanted me to do like a voiceover thing for them.
Oh, you'd be great, like for an animation thing, like.
Yeah, I would love to do
Pixar
something
needs to
like
hit
that.
you up.
I want to have Eddie Murphy's career. That's what I want. I want to like take over stand up for a minute and then just retire into doing like, kids movies and voiceover.
Cash those checks.
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
Voiceover works great. You could just show up, be a slob. You can probably like smoke weed in between takes. Like you don't have to like be like, or you don't have to do anything. You just have to like present your voice and that's it.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do it. Just right now, the people that have hit me up for voiceover stuff haven't been paying. They just want me to do it.
Kind of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, like, sometime if anybody's ever really willing to work with me as far as time goes, I'll do it. But if you're like, we want you here at 10 a.m., that's not likely.
Yeah.
I don't wake up that early, and I'm not. I mean, like, if I were being paid, I'd wake up that early.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, to go as a
For
favor at, 10 a.m. on a Sunday, or there's like, no.
I'm a comedian. Do you not know how we work?
Yeah, all night I'm gonna be at Garage Open Mic and all the others. Like, Saturday is a good 4 or 5 spot run if I want it to be.
Sometimes we end at 3, and then depending on your transportation system, like I know some grinders who have to like take the bus and do other things. Like, I don't think people understand, like, it's not just us fucking around. There's so many things that go into doing comedy, and it can be exhausting. And waking up early can sometimes be tough for us.
Yeah, people don't get that, and that's one of my big things, like why I don't like to do a lot of stuff for free that isn't stand-up, because I already do stand-up for free in a lot of cases. So you do stand-up for free. In some cases you have to pay to go up at mics. And so, I'm not going to pick up some more free work.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Did you watch the debate?
Oh, yeah. I watched it. The first one and the second one. Watched both of them. Thought they were both very fascinating. What do you think, first of all?
I was disappointed.
In the second debate?
Yeah, because, I mean, like, it was good if you wanted to see an argument or see, just them be childish with each other. But I was hoping that, like, they'd get that out of the way in the beginning, and then they'd really start discussing plans and policy. And I don't think either of them really did that. Like, it seemed like a lot of, like, telling me what's wrong with the other one. And I felt like, do you want to win because you're the best, or do you want to win because the other one's the worst?
But that's like politics. Like if you watched Hillary Clinton debate Obama back when Obama was like just starting and he was like a little junior politician, he thought debates were like, we discussed the issues. He even says this in interviews. He's like, I thought debates were on the level. And then Hillary comes out and is like, World War, like wrestling, and she's coming out doing her thing and she's killing him. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it the way you guys do it. And then he starts killing her and say, getting lines in about like, hey, you were a lawyer for Walmart, and it's like, that's not getting on issues, but that's how you debate in America.
Yeah, I get it. I just really wish that would change.
Oh yeah, well, you're gonna have to like change the education system for that. People are gonna have to like actually like be a little more smart and substantive. But like that's, the debates. It's about emotion, and I think that's part of the genius of Trump is he knows how to tap into people's emotion. Hillary Clinton is tapping into logic, and I don't think she understands how illogical America is in a lot of ways. And like, Trump's just good at tapping into emotion and getting people riled up, and I think he's fascinating. And I obviously hate the guy in terms of what he represents, but I love how as a politician he's attacking and going after it. Like, to me, debates are traditionally like, the Revolutionary War, the British are coming in and they have these like rules to battle, and then the Americans are hiding behind trees and shooting and like doing all this nasty ass shit you're not supposed to do. And that's Trump. And Hillary's just doing this like she's out in red and just like, oh, these are the rules to fighting. And Trump's like, I want to cut your nuts off. I don't care.
Fuck your rules.
I don't care. I'll curb stomp you. I don't care. And it's fascinating when he brings out the 4 women that Bill Clinton slept with an hour before the debate. That's MMA, and she's boxing.
Yeah, well, that part I did like, because that was a real, what about your man, bitch moment. Like, that part I liked.
He's really, like, he's not about policies. I don't think anyone's voting for Trump for his policies. I don't think people were like, oh my God, he's going to help the economy, and I love what he's going to do for the education system. People are voting for him because they're like, I want to send a middle finger to the establishment. I want like,
yeah, well, there's definitely that for me. Like, just where
I want to. There's a lot of people say I want a reset button.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Some people, when they talk about it, it sounds like they want the purge or like a zombie apocalypse when they vote for Trump. But a lot of people they see the system where it's at, and they just want a reset button. That's what Trump represents. And I just think, Hillary Clinton is the extension of the establishment. And I just find it funny that Republicans, Democrats are reversing roles in this, because Republicans used to always be, hey, we're going to extend the establishment no matter how much it hurts the people at the bottom. But now, Democrats are saying, hey, we're going to extend this establishment no matter how much it hurts the people at the bottom. And it's just a nice role reversal. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely happened, that flip. Also, it was Aston that I said this with, and at first he kind of tried to argue it a little bit, but then like it's just what it is. Like, now Democrats have started to use fear the same way the Republicans used to.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's become the thing, like the big thing is how Trump is basically Hitler, and we're all gonna have to prepare for that if he wins. And it's just kind of like,
To be fair, you might not be able to point that at the Democrats, but Hillary Clinton herself, she did a lot of dirty things to Obama. I don't think people remember in 2008 some of the dirty tricks her and her camp pulled on Obama. It wasn't Trump who started the birther movement. It was her camp. It was her camp saying, do you want to vote for someone who isn't American, doesn't have American values? She started the camp, and she started that movement, and Trump extended it. But it was in 2007, way before Trump was doing all this bullshit. 2007, her and her camp started this stuff. Her camp was the one who posted a picture of him in, Kenyan garb, the traditional Muslim garb, as if it was a gaffe. they just presented it and they were like, look at him, and look at him in that, and that's the kind of stuff where that might be a Hillary Clinton only thing where because she attacks like a Republican attacks.
See, but I think that's what bothers me about Hillary supporters is that you can tell them these things, you can show them that it's happened, and they don't want to hear it. They'll tell you that it's just you making stuff up and it's rhetoric, and it's like, no, these are facts. Just like you bring up the bankruptcies from Trump, that's a fact. I'm not going to argue that with you. I'm not going to act like, oh, no, that's just them saying this. It's like, no, these are all things, like a lot of stuff, like it's one of the most frustrating things when I'm talking to people online and people are calling me stupid. It's like, no, I'm not stupid, and I don't think you're stupid. I think you're blind. I think you're choosing to be blind, and people will tell me that, if you're voting for Trump, you're willfully ignorant, and it's like, no, I would say that's probably closer to what you are because you refuse to accept that certain things are fact.
Yeah, for me, as a Bernie supporter, just on the outside looking in on this, and by the way, I will be writing in Bernie if you're wondering. I'm not going to vote for either of them. I'm just going to write in Bernie. But I think the moral superiority of the Hillary Clinton people is so obnoxious. Mm-hmm. And, to say that, oh, Hillary, if you vote for Trump, you're a racist, when Hillary Clinton pulls a lot of racist stuff on Obama. My grandma told me in 1974, don't trust Hillary Clinton. I was like, why? In 1974, Bill Clinton lost this race, and she turned to her manager and called him a Jew bastard. My grandma never let that go, and and it came out again in 2000. But my grandma knows about everything before shit happens. I don't know the fuck it was going on, but she, she.
I never knew the Jew bastard.
Yeah, and it's if he's a bastard, it's fine, but leave the Jew part out of it. You can call him a dirty Jew, but it's
I love it.
but yeah, she has a lot of racist tendencies as well. For instance, do you know what's going on in Haiti? Do you kind of know the Clinton connection to Haiti?
I've heard certain things online, but I can't say that I really know.
I think that Haiti is a perfect example of how Hillary Clinton is just as racist as Donald Trump, if not more so. First of all, Hillary Clinton multiple times voted against raising the minimum wage in Haiti when it's one of the most poor and destitute countries in the world. And Bernie Sanders and other Elizabeth Warren, her other progressive, colleagues were totally against her in this. And when you look at the Haiti earthquake, it happened to 2011, I believe. $13 billion goes into that earthquake relief fund. And who is heading that fund? Bill Clinton. Magically, 99% of the $13 billion donated does not go to the relief fund. Chelsea Clinton, their daughter, goes to Haiti to check out the relief efforts. And she is quoted as saying, it's appalling, and what we're doing is terrible. I don't know how these are even being set up. There was a cholera outbreak. This is fucking from Oregon Trail. I've never heard cholera. This shit doesn't even happen anymore. There's a cholera outbreak because it was so unhygienic and they didn't even put enough money into the relief effort. And that kind of stuff is dangerous. Yeah. And you're wondering, oh, what's the Clinton connection? Hillary Clinton's brother got one of the 2 gold mining contracts rewarded in Haiti's history. You think there wasn't a pay-for-play in that? Where, as Bill Clinton's like, okay, I'll do the relief fund if you give my brother-in-law, this thing. You're out of your mind if you don't think that. And the lack of respect we've given to the people of Haiti and just keeping them poor and destitute, and the fact that we got Bono and all these assholes to sing, and none of the money went to them, and $13 billion, where do you think it went? Where do you think it went to? Where do you think it went to? As Hillary Clinton, after the 2008 election, is $8 million in debt after she loses to Obama. Why do you think she's doing these speeches for $250,000 a pop? there is a money trail that's so obvious, and you're blind if you're not looking at it.
Nobody wants to hear it.
It's
That's the biggest thing. Like, it's the most frustrating thing is nobody wants to hear. I mean, like, I get it. If you're like, for Hillary supporters, I get it if they're willing to say, I don't give a fuck about that. Because that's what I do with everything people tell me about Donald Trump. I'm always like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. That doesn't affect my life. I'm not, in that demographic, so I don't care. So I get if people say that. Like if somebody were a Hillary supporter and they were like, I'm not in fucking Haiti, so I don't care. Then I would at least respect that. But that's not what they say. Instead, they make it seem like that's just you making stuff up. That's conspiracy theory that hasn't been proven. There's, like this is like yesterday had this guy trying to engage me, and I just wouldn't because he was one of those people that was just like, you can't use any kind of logic on him. It's just all
just a block.
Yeah, it's just, and it was just like, I'm not going to argue with him. So I just started telling him that, I thought he was lonely because he just kept like hitting me up about this shit. And it was just like, I think you're lonely. And then he was telling me how dumb I was. And then he told me, because, my Facebook profile says that I only made it to 9th grade. And then he was like, why don't you try getting your GED and maybe people would respect you? And then I was like, oh, I got my GED when I was 16. So I was like, and then he talked more shit. And I was like, hey, you said people would respect me if I had a GED.
I'm just listening to your words.
Yeah, and so then, I was like, I don't know why you'd still be bothering me unless you're lonely. I just kept throwing out how lonely he must have been.
It's sad. A lot of the people on the internet, you can just boil them down to like just you can see like the depressed, like not getting laid, selves they are, and you're just like, just go smoke a bowl, get beat off, and just like shut the fuck up.
Well, that's what a lot of these people need to do is like, either get laid or go jerk off or do whatever you have to do to get rid of this energy instead of just like getting in arguments where it's like, I don't mind talking to someone if I feel like I can make either a good enough example of them that other people at least see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like then I'll do it. Or if I can just completely expose them for not having a point at all.
Yeah, well, that's great. Exposing his hypocrisy is lovely. I think it's one of the great arts that's lost sometimes, and I think you do it very well, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, and that was and then there's certain things that I'll post in a certain way just so it'll make people mad, and then they'll check out whatever clip it is I'm telling them to check out, Yeah,
instigation for a good old instigation stake.
Yeah, and then they get mad at me, like, but it's like, but you watched or you listened to what so at least the information went in even if you didn't like it, like you checked it out just because I posted it in a way where you'll actually listen to it. Like that was the way I felt with that the Hillary Clinton recording when she was talking about the rape case.
When she was defending a child rapist?
Yeah.
And she was laughing about the polygraph results?
Yeah, and people were like, she was laughing because she thought it was ridiculous, and like.
Well, let's break this down because I think this is fascinating. She was laughing because she thought that the polygraph results were so ridiculous that she lost her faith in polygraphs forever. Well, then why are you defending a child rapist that you don't even like?
That's the way I felt. Like, you're still laughing at the fact that you were able to take advantage of this broken system. You know, like, that's where I felt like, it still boils down to her laughing at this situation. Like, if she had been on the other side, I could see her, being like, I was, it was just a laugh from, I couldn't believe how stupid this is. But when you're the person that actually got him pled out with time served, on, off of this fucked up polygraph situation, it's like, all right, well, that's kind of you.
Yeah, well, that's what you're talking about. You love to expose hypocrisy, and I think like the false outrage movement in this culture is ridiculous. Like the most talked about thing in this election is the Trump grab my pussy tape.
Yep.
By a factor of 3, I believe. It's the most talked about thing. And to me, Hillary Clinton supporters are so hypocritical in this sense when we just talked about her, defending a child rapist and laughing about it. The things she said about the accusers of her husband is absolutely part of the rape culture and the not safe spaces that all you feminists love to rant about. This is part of the rape culture that the victim blaming. She did a lot of victim blaming, and she called them bimbos.
Well,
she called them crazy. I just think that's terrible.
Yeah, no, just the other day, I reposted it on Twitter, and Joy Behar and the other girls from The View.
This is fabulous.
Yeah, Joy Behar and the other girls from The View were talking about, Trump bringing out the women, and Joy Behar was like, yeah, well, what was Hillary Clinton supposed to say? Like, is she supposed to talk about these tramps that had affairs with their husband? And it's like, that's not what these women are claiming. It's not like these women had an affair and were jilted, and that's what they're saying. Like, these are actual rape allegations and sexual harassment allegations.
Yeah.
So it's not as simple as just like, oh, they had an affair with your husband. And like, if it's not okay to victim blame when it works to your advantage, then it's not okay to victim blame when it doesn't. I mean, either way. And I've always said that I think we should be able to ask anybody questions. Like sometimes you're not even victim blaming. You're just trying to figure out if there is an actual victim. Did anything really happen here, or is this just you being angry? Is this just, and then people say like, well, who would accuse somebody of rape if it wasn't true? Well, it's happened a million fucking times,
Yeah.
There is legitimate rape. I mean, like, I definitely do acknowledge that, but there also are some people that use that as basically a weapon, or, like, okay, I didn't get this, so now this turns into that.
Yeah, and there's like famous cases of people losing their lives over false rape accusations, and it's acted like there's not even a side to it.
Yeah, so we're not allowed to mention that, and that's the other thing. Like, people will tell you that Bill isn't running for president, and it's like, no, but your candidate is pretending to be pro-woman, but she stands by a man that has multiple allegations of either rape or some sort of sexual harassment. So
Yeah.
if you're supposed to be pro-woman, if you're not pro-woman, if you're not running on that at all, then cool, let's not bring it up. But you're making it sound like you're pro-woman and you're all about women. Well, being all about women can't just be about upholding Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's more than that, if that's what you're supposed to be. Like, I'll never tell people that I'm a gay rights activist, because a lot of things I do don't fall in line with gay activism.
Yeah. It's I've heard you say you don't even necessarily want gay marriage, because it's like you just want to be able to fuck around and just.
Yeah, I want my relationship to be over when it's over.
Yeah,
no paperwork, no, just, And the other thing is, I've noticed, because, gay people have been in their own versions of marriage forever. And I've noticed that a lot of gay people are, even if there's a point where they hate each other in the beginning, they figure out how to leave it in a fair way in a lot of cases. That's what I've noticed. Like, you don't necessarily need someone to come in and be like, okay, you get half and you get half.
Yeah.
Like, when I broke up with my ex, I used to call him my wife, and he would.
Did he like that?
Oh yeah, he would even tell you he was my wife. You know what I mean? Like, it just was what it was.
That's
he,
cool.
he was my wife. His name was Juan. And
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. Well, no, he actually was the second one.
That's the tie I know and love.
Yeah, the first wife, but second one. But and they were back to back, if I remember correctly. It was like out of relationship.
That is how you'd like to remember them, wouldn't you? Back to back.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I had that happen once too, but never mind that. But
sounds like an Abu Ghraib porno.
yeah, that does sound kind of. Yeah, that would make sense. But when we broke up, because I broke up with him not because he wasn't a good guy, but just because I was going to come to LA to pursue comedy, and I knew that, long distance relationship isn't going to work out. I know the way I am, and I know LA, and I knew, like, I had already been to West Hollywood, and I was like, I know I'm going to come and fuck a bunch of people and enjoy, being in LA, and so I'm not going to lie to somebody and have them waiting for me at home because he was like a good guy like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't think he ever cheated on me. You know, I think he
Yeah.
really was just faithful and good and everything he was supposed to be. And so I wouldn't ask someone like that to wait for me when I know all the shit I'm going to be doing while I'm over here. So I ended the relationship and we had an apartment together and I gave him pretty much everything. I mean, I, took my clothes, but as far as like all the furniture that we had and stuff like that, and it wasn't like we acquired that during our relationship. Like I came into our relationship with all that shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
But you couldn't. You couldn't like pack up like the Jodes and take all that shit to Hollywood. You just had to bounce, pack light.
yeah, and I didn't want to like, pay for a storage rental in Arizona and just have this stuff. So I was just like, just you take everything and
Yeah, I didn't realize this. I grew up in Utah, and like I was born in Santa Monica, but I grew up in Utah. And you don't realize this, like there's so much space and land in these non-California New York states. But when you get to Southern California, New York, there's no space, and storage is like a thing. It's a big important thing. There's just not. We don't have enough room here.
yeah, I didn't realize that parking was considered an amenity here.
Oh my God! Yeah,
like
that's a
when
new
I
thing.
first came here and like I was looking at apartments. First off, I thought that it was going to be easier for me to find an apartment because
Yeah.
in Arizona in Phoenix, we had a 2-bedroom townhouse that was upstairs, downstairs, had a washer and dryer. We had 2 parking spaces. Plus, there was as much parking as you ever wanted on the street. So,
Exactly.
you really weren't worried about the parking spaces. But it was nice to have parking
Yeah,
spaces. But we were paying like, I think it was 6 something for that.
Yeah. Imagine paying 6 something out here. That'd be amazing.
Well, that's what I thought I was going to get for a studio when I got here. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it'll be smaller, but I'll still be able to find something. And like even then, when I got here, it was 13 years ago that I came. It was, I remember a studio being $800.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if I had known better, because I didn't know about Koreatown, I guess at that time Koreatown had a lot of like 600, like around there.
Yeah, it's still cheap.
But even that still wasn't, still wasn't really that doable for me by myself, just having come to LA. And so I ended up living in my truck for 4 months. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee and I lived in that, and I rented a storage like for my clothes so that I didn't have to have everything. And then I would go to the gym and shower there.
Well, you having storage, that's like living like a king compared to most people here. Like most people here are like just like I've heard people like in various places just be like, "Yo, if I can just save up, I'll get that car and then I'll sleep there." And, they're aspiring to get to the sleeping in the car part.
Yeah.
And so for you to have storage, people must have looked at you like a Rockefeller.
Yeah, I guess I was doing well for a homeless person in LA,
Yeah.
or a homeless,
Very impressive.
comic in LA, because I've seen that even recently. A friend of mine had all of his stuff in his car, and it was
Mhm.
just all in the back seat and cramped up like he was moving from one spot to another, but really he just lived that way.
I've done that before. We've all. I think pretty much. I think there's a significant portion of people in LA have had or currently live in their car. It's just a common thing. It takes so long to find apartments, and it's a pain in the ass to make money sometimes, and you get screwed over all the time. Like I used to bartend, and I can't tell you how many times like I got shorted out of like what I was supposed to get paid, and that's just an LA thing.
Yeah, and it's not even like a put down or something somebody or people that I know look down on in any way. If somebody lives in their car, nobody's like, oh, he lives in his car. It's not like, it's just like, he lives in his car. It's just very a matter of fact, and like, yeah, sometimes people
Some
do
people
that.
are like, he lives in his car. That's awesome.
Yeah. People were jealous of me when I
I'm
lived in
thinking
my
of
car.
blowing the guy so I can live in his car. It's like that's how people talk in LA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's just common here. And you live with Kayla.
I live with Kayla and my one roommate in Encino. We have a 1-bedroom. It's pretty much similar setup to what we got going here.
Do you guys just like put a divider in the living room, so because you have a 1 bedroom with the roommate?
It's a really spacious 1 bedroom, and the living room is like big enough where he can just kind of chill, and there's the way the doors are set up. There's like 2 doors, and so it's kind of divided anyways.
Okay.
So it's actually, we kind of got our privacy pretty nice, and he's kind of a bum, our roommate. He just sleeps on the couch. He doesn't mind. You know, Mario, you've seen him at Garage Mike. You know,
Mario.
he does like Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump bits. Like he talks about Hillary Clinton being a snake and Donald Trump. He was talking about Hillary Clinton's like dying, and she's like, she's got 63 days left. Like that's,
I can't. I know. I laughed at that. I know that. I know what you're talking about, but I can't picture him in my head right now.
he's just some generic Mexican. I can't tell you how many times.
You know how racist that sounds.
I know
that's not how you meant
but
it, but it
but-
does sound like he's just some
oh, yeah.
generic Mexican.
Well, it's like I can't tell you how many times. It happened today, actually. Some guy came up. He's like, "Dude, I know you," and he's like, "You don't know me, dude. I know you. Your name's Juan." He's like, "No, my name's Mario." It like happens like all the time. It's like The Sims when it's like you click, it's a one face type. You're like, okay, generic Mexican, boom, Mario. That's him.
Yeah, and how long have you and Caleb been together?
Thanksgiving. We were just around Thanksgiving of last year. We started dating.
Okay, so going on a year now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and did you guys move in right away?
Pretty much. We've been living together, like for a little while. I was doing pretty shitty, and I was living with my parents, and she was living with me. And then I got an apartment. We've been living together at the apartment for like about 6 months now.
Where do your parents live?
Chatsworth. We lived in Utah, and then as soon as I graduated, University of Utah, I moved the hell out, and then they followed me like a year and a half later.
And so they're flying in from where right now? Didn't you say they're?
My dad does business trips all the time. He's just, he always goes places.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
it's just
so it's
typical, and he likes me to pick him up. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
if I
it's-
had a kid, I'd be like, you're
Yeah, it's
picking me
better.
up.
It's way cheaper
give
than
a
Uber.
fuck.
Just tell me to do it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
picking me up for sure when I have a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
Why?
way it's gonna be.
Why did? Why did I jizz inside your mom if you weren't gonna pick me up, you little fuck?
Yeah, I wish my parents would. That's like one of my goals, is like once I make it, I gotta find a place for me and my parents. But I don't want them to live here. I want them to live with me. You know, I mean, like
Yeah.
it's not good enough just to have them here. I
There
need to
comes
be
a
with
certain
them.
age where you want to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and honestly, you want to have them around just to like, just so they're always there. Just because it's like, it's funny, the kid becomes the parent at some point,
Yeah.
and they want to take care of the parent, and it happens very often. And it's, with my mom especially, I'm always taking care of her. Like she smokes weed, and she'll always like get really high, and she'll watch like Dance Moms, and she'll leave it like full. She would leave it full blast, right? And she'd pass out, and like there'd be chocolate ice cream on her stomach, and I'd have to like take the chocolate ice cream bowl, put it away, clean it up. I have to put a blanket on her, turn off the TV.
Are your parents hippie types or what?
My mom's a kind of a hippie. Like my grandma was like radical. My grandma took my mom's little brother to the Million Man March. So like they were like hella radical Jews,
Yeah.
and so they.
Have you met Dinah Leffert? Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. Yeah, is she like her mom sounds like a similar type?
Yeah, she knew Tupac's mom too,
Yeah.
which is like very cool. Kind of Tupac's mom and my grandma are very like just radical. Will not like kind of like Ty, unbothered. Like if you like think, oh, your opinion of them is gonna affect what they're gonna say, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah. No, it's great. I like those personalities even when they don't have the same opinions as me.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah, I love
like
it.
that better. I don't look for like yes men or people that like if you agree with me, great, and I love that too. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's great to have that kind of conversation as well. But it's also good when it's like you can go back and forth a little bit and learn something from somebody,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just be like, okay, well that was that was good. At the end of the day, I'm still me, you're still you. We're both still unbothered.
That's why this podcast is amazing. I'll be honest. So when I first started comedy, I asked, do Kirpalani.
Kirpalani.
I can't say.
Yeah,
I'm,
do
I'm
Kirpalani.
part Indian. Can't say his fucking name. But
I always accidentally call him Drew, and I'm friends with him. Like we're actual friends. And the other day I was like, "Bye, Drew," and I was just like, "Ugh."
Yeah, he's brilliant. He used to run Paladinos. And I asked him like, hey, I'm just starting. It's my first week. It was September 20th of last year actually, and I was like, so who's like who's like someone of my peers who I should look up to? And he didn't break a beat. He's like Ty Rivera, and I was kind of ashamed. I didn't even know of you, and so I like made sure to look you up. And when I looked you up, I thought you were quite radical. I was like, this guy gets into arguments all the time. But when you listen to the podcast and listen to you explain out your ideas, the more you talk, the more you're with Ty. Even if you're not agreeing with Ty, the more you're like, oh, I get it, and he has a good point, and I hear his perspective, and his perspective's valid. Like sometimes some people, the more they talk, they're like, you should just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they fall apart. It does. Yeah,
like their logic breaks down very quickly. But with you, it's like, oh, fuck, I didn't realize that could have been a point to make. Fuck. You just rethink shit. Like, you made me rethink a lot of shit, and it annoys the shit out of me. But, it's great. That's, how respect's built.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate Dew saying that. Now I'm going to make it a point to always pronounce his name right. I always want to say
I try to
Drew.
make it a point, and I still can't do it.
I got the Kirpalani. I'm easy on the Kirpalani.
Okay,
Yeah,
Kirpalani,
but Dew, the Dew part is what gets...
The two-letter name is just daunting.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense that I would have a problem getting the Dew part down. But, you just meet so many Drews in your life. I've met a lot of Drews in my life.
Yeah. Dew is a unique name. My grandma is from India, and so like I know India stuff pretty well. I make curries and shit, but I've never heard of Dew. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, no, I never heard of Dew either, but Dew Kirpalani, he got a lot of shout outs on this one.
Yeah, you should if you're gonna hear of a Dew Kirpalani is the one to hear about.
Yeah, he's gonna be part of the promo for this episode.
Better than Morning Dew, Honey Dew. He's the best Dew I know.
Oh my God, this has turned into us talking about Dew Kirpalani over and over. So you and Kayla have been together for going on a year now.
I actually was gonna ask you, have you ever dated a comic?
No, I've had sex with one.
Okay.
But he doesn't do comedy anymore. That's what having sex with me will do.
Yeah, I was going to say related, unrelated.
No, he just doesn't do comedy anymore. Well, we didn't have sex. We fucked around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was like a comic for a while. He was no real credits or anything, just, open mic.
Oh, okay.
And we hooked up, and then it turned into this weird situation.
Oh, okay.
But no.
Yeah, it sounded like you fucked the funny right out of him, but okay. He wasn't anything. Okay.
He didn't really have funny. I was being forgiving by fucking him as unfunny as he was.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you don't. You can't be in a relationship with another comic unless you respect their comedy. That's the way I feel about it.
And that's like, that's the first thing that made me attracted to Kayla is I saw her comedy and I was like, oh, that's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I see women comedians. I know this sounds really terrible, but if I don't like your comedy, the attraction is like cut in half.
Yeah.
If I like your comedy, the attraction almost doubles.
Yeah.
And just the attraction to the personality, not like, oh my God, they're so hot, but just like, a funny woman is like just the ultimate.
I feel that way with friends.
Yeah.
Even on a friend level.
Yeah, exactly.
If I like your comedy, then I'm going to like you more and even respect your opinion more in a lot of cases. If I don't like your comedy, then I'm just sort of like, yeah, I don't really care what you have to say, or I don't really want to hear a lot from you,
Yeah.
Like, step up the funny, and then then let's talk some issues or whatever. Whatever you got on your mind.
Become a comedian, then we can talk about being a comedian together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I want to have Kayla on. I mean, she's been here, and I wish I had another, I do have another mic. I just don't have a splitter, but that's all behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
But I was glad we got to talk, and I want to have Kayla on separately if she's open to it, because I know that she has feminist perspective on some things, or just would you identify as feminist? Yeah. And does that ever like get in the way of?
No, it's interesting dating a comedian. I'm not you probably wouldn't have ever dealt with this. Like, we have a great relationship, but once in a while, like, we'll be going back and forth, giving each other shit comedically, and then once in a while, almost always me. I'll be honest, like, someone will cross a line, and then almost always her. We'll have to check, almost always me, and then say, hey, we're still boyfriend and girlfriend. Don't talk to me like I'm Victor Martinez. And so that happens a lot, because, like, I'm getting prepped for, like, I was getting prepped for my roast battle with Brandon, and I'm just trying to come up with vicious jokes, and once in a while, we just, like, I just cross a line with her, and, that could be the hard part dating a comedian.
Yeah, so you're doing actual roast battle. I know you're doing the Temecula.
Yeah, I did. I had a roast battle a couple weeks ago at Comedy Store, and then just because I just want to keep doing it, and it's fun as hell.
Who are you battling at roast battle?
I battled Brandon Bricks.
Oh, yeah, that one I wanted to be there for. I don't remember what ended up happening, but I wanted to be there for that. I ended up seeing part of it on Periscope, but the Periscope was being weird, and then I ended up seeing you posted a couple clips.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram, and it's on YouTube. If you just type in Eric Abbenante versus Brandon Bricks, you'll find it. And it was an awesome battle, and it was so much fun. And the first battle, I didn't even know this when I challenged him. He had, like, one of the ultimate, like, got destroyed battles ever. Like, people talk about, like, he might have lost the hardest out of any battle because Wub Savell, like, got in so many good jokes on him. And I didn't know that. So he really wanted to redeem himself for this. Like, because he wanted to show people, the Comedy Stores, people talk so much shit.
Oh yeah.
As soon as they see any vulnerability, these assholes. As soon as it's like, it's like, one bad moment, and there's like, fuck that guy, and it's like, he's one of my best friends in comedy. I wanted him to, like, show them, and he had an amazing performance.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that you guys did have a really fun battle.
It was great. He rapped and roasted me on the beat, rhythm wise. Like, he was like, he astonished me in the middle of the battle, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta fucking battle him.
Did he win?
I won, actually. It was, it was like, I had a rebuttal that really helped, and my last joke helped, but yeah, it was intense. Like, he's doing the rap, and the whole wave comes on stage, and Jamar Neighbors has, like, chicken wings he's eating, and Brandon's rapping, and nothing stops him except Jamar Neighbors drops a chicken wing, and, like, everything stops. The music stops. Like, Brandon just, like, is staring at it. Jamar picks up the chicken, the piece of chicken, and then Brandon goes back into it. And, not saying anything racist, but that's just the power of chicken, people. Hot wings are amazing.
Yeah.
Hot wings are amazing. That's just all you have to say.
I love chicken. It's actually, there's a whole bit on it on my album.
Yeah, that's the one racist thing I don't get, like, fried chicken. Like, I like fried chicken.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Well,
vegans,
we should be racist against people who don't like fried chicken.
Vegans, I guess. But outside of that, I don't know
who's.
I love fried chicken, but yeah,
it was a good battle, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, so Brandon's rapping, and I kind of had an inkling he'd rap because I just know the guy. He's always rapping a garage mic and stuff. So I came with a line for it. So when he's rapping, and the whole crowd went ape shit when he. Pardon the pun. When he when he's doing it, the crowd loves it. The wave could not be adoring this guy more. And Haiti, I could hear him say, "Don't lose," and he says the N-word to me.
Yeah.
And then Earl goes, "Good luck following that." And then I go, "Hey, Brandon, he sure is out of shape, but he sure is good at those monkey bars." And that was, like, the thing that, like, turned it back for me because for those of you who don't know roast battle, like, the crowd in there, it's like Roman gladiator. And before you get up there, the crowd's perception of you is so important. They look at both battlers, and they instantaneously decide most battles, thumbs up on one guy, thumbs down on another guy. And if you're a thumbs down guy, which I was, you have to win them over slowly, or else it's not going to happen. And, the crowd's, like... I do my first joke, and I can hear Jamar Neighbors go, "Racist faggot." Like, you have to win them over. Like, they did not like me, but eventually, good joke after good joke after good joke, the crowd will respect that. But yeah, it's the crowd winning them over is intense.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to check it out. I didn't know it was on YouTube, so.
Yeah, it's a good video too. I made sure to make it not sound like it was filmed underwater.
Yeah.
So that it's fun.
No, I want to check that out for
And
sure.
then I'll have my Nick Petrillo one in Temecula coming up. I'll have that one on YouTube too.
And then right now you're not scheduled for another one.
No, I honestly can't find anybody. No one wants to roast me because I haven't got enough wins yet, and that's like part of the politics of this. Is like,
yeah,
it's kind of like boxing where, hey, why would I want to box someone under me when I'm trying to go for the belt? I get it. So that's I just got to find somebody.
Yeah, no, I get it. Who might be good for you is Mark Stevens, who I just came off the road with.
That would be fun if he'd be down. I'm a little lower than him, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, it might. I mean, especially since the Brandon one went really well for you. It might be. Anyway,
it was fun.
Yeah, no, that's great. Are you going to roast battle tonight?
No, I have to pick up my dad and take him back, and then we'll be chilling in Chatsworth.
And you're gonna, okay. Well,
Chateau Abbenante.
Chateau Abbenante.
Yeah, that's why I always call my parents' house.
Yeah, no, we're here at Casa de Bijou, so
yeah,
I know.
I always liked that. I always thought that was cool. Little did I know the Bijou was like a dog. That was the best part. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's Bijou right now. She's tired of waiting over there.
Yeah, for those of you who, I know this is an audio podcast, but for those of you on Thai TV right now, you can see Bijou. And you can subscribe to Thai TV by blowing Thai. That's how you do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unrelated, I have been subscribed to Thai TV for 8 weeks now.
So great. Yeah, there's little Bijou. She's ready for me to pull her out of there. So where can people find you? I didn't know. I honestly didn't know you had been doing comedy only for a year now.
I've literally been doing it for 1 year, and it's been really fun. I really jumped into it, and yeah, it's the best. You can find my name's Eric Abbenante, Abbenante. No one else is my fucking name. It's so easy to find my name, it's impossible. But also, I have a thing called The Bud Show. It's like a YouTube page. I'm working on a show called Buds, and so I put all my YouTube shit up there.
The Bud Show. That's the name of your channel.
Yeah, and I'm working on a show called Buds, and so it's just that's where I put up all my shit until Buds goes up. Okay,
yeah, I'll put all that in the description.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
And the SoundCloud. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. It was a good conversation.
No, this was so much fun. The time really flew by. And this is a really, Ty's got a great apartment, very nice, very chill atmosphere.
Yeah, I try to keep it chill. I like it chill and not a lot of clutter.
When you listen to a podcast, you always kind of imagine where it is, and it's a lot more inviting than I thought it'd be. Though you've got really interesting paintings on the walls,
Yeah. Brainstemming.com. If anybody wants to get some paintings like mine, I know you can't see them, but trust me, just check out brainstemming.com. My friend Andy Schreier is an artist out of the Bay Area, and I love his stuff, and so I have it. I need to get more stuff, Andy.
I describe it as creepy but inviting and warm somehow.
Sort of like me.
Yes. It looks like it should be bad, but you're the more I look at it, the more I like this fucking thing.
Yeah, still sort of like me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate you coming out.
This was the best, honestly. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
I've been a big fan of the podcast for a while, so this is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for making it out. Everybody, this is Unbothered by Ty Rivera. You can find me at americasfavoritefag.com.
Best website in the world.
Every
by
week,
the way.
I announce it's americasfavoritefag.com, so...
The first time you mentioned that the podcast, I was dying. I had to almost pull over.
Everybody thinks I'm joking when I say it, and I guess I kind of am because it's silly, but it really is how you find me. You go to americasfavoritefag.com. It'll take you right to my website.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm Ty Rivera. I remain unbothered.